What's up, y'all? I'm Poochie. Straight into the video, no BS. I'm going to be talking about all the bad things that Overwatch has done in its life cycle for Overwatch 2. Before the game even came out, Overwatch 2 was already under fire. Not because of the fact that the game was literally utter garbage, but Blizzard was currently on their second of 3 allegations of workplace malpractice. It was so bad that they literally had to change this character's name so they didn't have a connection to the person anymore. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I think Kendrick said it best for everyone. He a fan, he a fan, he a fan. Do you remember when Overwatch 2 was first released and the servers alone couldn't handle the people inside? You literally had to sit, I'm not lying here. You had to sit in a number queue to get into the game. That's literally insane. And for those who were like, well, it was a big launch, they didn't expect that many people to be playing the game, absolutely not. The files for Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 were literally the same exact thing. So it wasn't Overwatch 2 not being able to handle the players instead of their servers. It was Overwatch 1 with a new cover. This just proves that the first game was literally garbage in the first place.
You suck.
And even if you were able to get into a game, that didn't even matter because the servers were being hit by a massive DDoS attack for a week straight, resulting in half of the people playing literally getting kicked out. Guess you're going back to that queue.
How long is this going to take?
Even after all of that, the game still had tons of problems stemming from the clear ignorance regarding the state of gaming. They actually added a requirement of needing a phone linked to access the game at all times. I hope I don't have to explain why this is a horrible idea, but if I have to be as blunt as a golf club to this man's head right here, all people don't have access to phones, especially in countries where data isn't as accessible as others. To stack more on top of it, with how frequently Overwatch was getting hacked during this time, I did not want to put my number on my account. Out of nowhere, I'm gonna get a message from my late distant cousin from Africa asking for my social security number. I don't want to do that.
Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you!
I don't know if you know this, but after COVID, the American economy has been desperately trying to get back onto its feet. People have been getting laid off or hours have just been getting cut. So imagine my surprise when Overwatch 2 took the loot box system from the original game, took them out and made it to where we had to use our real money for almost all the skins and characters within the game. We can barely afford to buy groceries right now and you expect me to buy a battle pass?
You've got to let go of the dime.
I can think of 10 good reasons to never let go of a dime, boy.
No, I'm being so serious right here. Do you understand how bad your new monetization system has to be if your community is practically begging for loot boxes to come back? Loot boxes. Loot boxes are literally just a gambling system for kids. Your community would rather risk a gambling addiction.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it.
You would think after 8 years, Overwatch would be able to actually properly balance their heroes, but the bottom line is that was a lie. Because on launch, we were introduced to one of the most broken characters in Overwatch history, Sojourn. And nobody at Overwatch cared. It took them several seasons to even get her into a proper spot that they would consider not freaking broken. But even now, people still consider her gameplay top tier. And this isn't even the only time that Overwatch released stupid characters. As a matter of fact, they have always released stupid characters, good and bad. I know I'm going a little out of order here, but I really have to mention this now. Every new character has either been broken or absolutely garbage. No in between. Sojourn, broken for an entire season to the point that the literal compilations of her destroying entire teams. Junker Queen was mid at first, but then she got buffed and she was wrecking everyone. Kiriko got released and she was so stupid strong that the entire gameplay of Overwatch 2 is now based around her character. Ramattra got announced and everyone was excited, only for him to absolutely be destroyed by every other tank that wasn't Rein. Lifeweaver was the most underwhelming support ever released in Overwatch history. Illari was broken with her actual sunbeam for 2 seconds until they nerfed her to the ground. And now the worst of them all, that absolute...
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
More sexual assault allegations, by the way.
Hey, freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside. Hey.
It was around this time that Overwatch also switched up its monetization style. They made it to where every one of the characters, new and old, would be released for free through the Battle Pass. However, this was only after they made people literally pay for them. They literally just took people's money and made everything that they paid for free and gave them nothing in return. How did they get away with this?
Give me your money.
Also, you know those amazing events from the first game? Remember how we were so excited we were going to change up the rotation and maybe get some new ones in the second game? Well, guess what? We did end up getting some new ones, but do you want to know what you also got? Yeah, you get Luciopol, the same game you played when you were in high school.
Oh, goody. Holographic meatloaf again. When am I gonna get some real food?
Everything I listed so far has to do with casual gameplay, so you'd think at least ranked was good, right? And to that I would say absolutely not. Ranked from day one was literally broken. For starters, the SR system in the game was just not working correctly. literally just not working, making it to where the games that you did play didn't give you enough SR, and when you lost, you went down 4 levels out of nowhere. This sounds like the same exact problems they had in the first game! And with the cherry on top, the wait times with roll queue were some of the worst things in multiplayer gaming. If you tried to play anything that wasn't a healer and you were literally above average skill level, you were looking upwards of 10 to 15 minute queues for a single match. Matches only last 30 minutes. Half of that is spent in queue. We're going to fast forward a little bit and we're going to talk about those mythic skins. Yeah, those mythic shards that we were talking about before, absolutely disgusting. And it's only a concept that would work under the new free-to-play model that Overwatch 2 has. $80 for a skin in a first-person freaking game is absolutely unacceptable. Even the anime crossovers were literally just not that good. Do you remember that one Spike skin? Yeah, give me all of your money for the lowest effort possible. Also, speaking of mythic shards, do you guys remember when they specifically said that they weren't going to be working on their actual weapon inspections? Turns out that you are actually able to inspect your weapon now if you spent a buttload of money on a mythic weapon. No, I really want to double down on this. I don't think you guys understand. You need to spend $40+ just for the ability to inspect your weapon. How did they get away with this?
You know, a lot of people ask why. Why treat the customer this way? Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Also, remember how I said the content in the game was literally all the same, boring, not innovative in the slightest? Well, guess what? They're actually starting to actually do things that are innovative, are exciting, and actual crossovers that do make people want to play the game. Only after Marvel Rivals actually started competing with them.
He does exactly what I do, but better.
And the biggest thing to happen to the game outside of the literal allegations that the studio faced is the cancellation of PvE. I understand that I'm going completely out of order here, but the bottom line is that I wanted to take a moment and drop the jokes to genuinely tackle this. Because in my opinion, this is the moment that should have burned the game to the ground. And the reason I don't want to joke right now is because I genuinely want to get my message across. Blizzard, your entire reasoning behind the creation of Overwatch 2 was the fact that you wanted to innovate and create a new aspect of your game in the form of a story PvE mode, which was genuinely cool. Jeff Kaplan himself literally stated that Overwatch 2 was meant to redefine what a sequel was meant to be. This mode was actually the primary leading conversation when discussing the decision to create Overwatch 2 in the first place. Then out of nowhere, you state that all promised content will just literally not be released or continue to be made because, in their own words, it was a gargantuan vision that made them continuously pull resources from the live game. You're telling me that Overwatch, the game made by Blizzard, one of the most well-known and richest companies in the world as far as gaming, couldn't predict that adding another aspect to your game would be tedious and take products away from the game? The bottom line is that Overwatch literally lied to everyone within their community. They made a new game to profit off of the free-to-play model that is now popular within the industry, and they are now reverting the entire game back to the way Overwatch 1 was with the absolutely horrible live service model that is here now. This whole concept that you were trying to redefine what a sequel is was just a flat-out lie, and you guys all understood that. And I really want to state that not one person out there should love a piece of plastic so much that they will accept anything from a studio that pisses on them and calls it rain. Overwatch 2 as a game, the second they released this statement, became nothing more than a product of modern gaming. A cash cow meant for nothing more than stealing everyone's money. And here we are now, just days after the release of Marvel Rivals that's averaging 400,000 people playing it a day. And the majority of the problems that I listed in this video are still present in Overwatch. Overwatch 2 at one point had one of the biggest gaming turnarounds of all time. People were making edits talking about how Overwatch was back to its glory days, and for the time, I actually thought it was. But no amount of positive vibes can change the horrible decisions that were made for Overwatch 2. It's rare that we as gamers can see a fall from grace twice in a game's life cycle. But here it is. Do I think Overwatch 2 is going to die? Probably not. Do I think Marvel Rivals is going to outclass Overwatch? I don't know. But one thing I do know for certain, Overwatch 2 fucking sucks.